on this very warm and muggy day in DC, but we have the air conditioning cranked up in here, so hopefully it won't be too hot except on the trade discussions that we're having. So we planned this event. We started talking about it about 4 weeks ago, and as I was talking with our board about what we needed to do, we said, well, there's a lot going on in China, there's a lot going on in NAFTA. I said, well, we could probably reserve a room on this day, June 21st. I said to them, look, here's the deal. Things are going to change 21 times between now and June 21st. I think it was actually probably a lot more than that. We didn't really know, even when we started inviting our guests to join us, what was going to transpire. I don't think any of us really did. But we wanted to talk about the two big trade issues that are on the table as of 3 weeks ago, which were NAFTA and China. Obviously now we have 232 and these other things that have been coming up around the world on a daily basis. I'll keep looking at my Twitter feed while we're sitting here in case anything changes while we're up here, and I'll let you know. But so we have these two panels, really fantastic lineup of speakers we're delighted to have. But for everybody who's here, all these issues bleed together also, and it crosses geography. So we'll probably have a little bit, I'm sure China will come up in this conversation, I'm sure other topics will come up in the second half of our event. So we'll have this first panel go till about 10 o'clock. I'll give you the little signal, Eric, when we're ready to wrap up. They'll each make opening remarks. They'll have a discussion amongst each other, and then as our normal practice, we'll take questions from the audience. We'll have a mic runner, and then we'll switch over to the next panel. A couple quick WITA commercials. As folks know, our annual dinner is coming up on July 18th. We'll be honoring Senator Pat Roberts, Senator Ben Cardin, and Secretary Sonny Perdue. We found out yesterday, we're really pleased that Chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, Kevin Brady, will also be joining us as one of the introducers, so we'll leave it at that. Folks, in your inboxes in the next few minutes, you should be receiving ballots to elect the WITA board. So WITA members can vote in our election to elect the WITA board. There's a slate of candidates that are out there. Hope you take a look at that email. Last thing, and this is not public yet because we haven't signed all the paperwork, but next January 29th, Tuesday, we're going to be hosting the first ever WITA International Trade Conference. It's going to be a full day conference looking at the major trade issues. We're not going to anticipate today what all those will be, but it'll be, we're going to have plenaries, we're going to have breakout sessions, and we're hoping to have a big audience. It'll be here in the Reagan building. We'll be addressing, obviously, some of the major topics of the day. We're also going to try to tailor some of the discussions for people who work in your companies in global supply chains and who are out in the field doing actual trade work. So we'll try to have several of the breakout sessions that are tailored for that audience. So something to keep a lookout for. We're going to go public with it, hopefully in the next couple of weeks. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Eric. I want to thank also our NAFTA series sponsor, the National Pork Producers Council, for sponsoring the NAFTA series. Last thing we've done, this is the 9th event we've done on 10 we were going to do on the NAFTA. So hopefully we started that last July. Not sure when we're going to wrap it up. I keep holding back the last event because I don't know when that might be and what we might do. So we may have to roll out a couple more. But with that, Eric.
Well, Ken, thank you very much for your leadership on these important issues. Thanks for the invitation to host this important panel on NAFTA today. As you say, NAFTA is a work in progress, and hopefully we can add some understanding to where we are and where we may be going on that front this morning. And I want to thank you and your WITA colleagues for hosting the important event today. Well, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Happy summer solstice to all of you. It's good to see so many here this morning interested in trade. And as all of you know, this is such a critical time on trade and also, if I may say, for our country. The topics we'll be discussing today have broad and long-lasting implications, not just for global trade and investment relations, but also in terms of how we see the world and how the world sees us. NAFTA, most trade experts agree, has been a success, leading to strengthened North American economies, job creation in sectors that pay higher wages, and greater efficiencies built on integrated supply chains. NAFTA has also strengthened the rule of law, supporting democratic transition and economic reforms in Mexico while encouraging deeper cooperation across a range of political and security interests. And it has proven to be a durable platform from which to expand the broader hemispheric trade and investment agenda. But NAFTA can now usefully be updated, and I think we're going to talk a lot about that today. Once cutting edge, the agreement has not adequately or fully captured the tremendous advances in innovation and technology across all sectors apparent in the global economy. And that's something to which most observers, I would hazard to guess, would agree. The question is, of course, now that negotiations have been underway for almost a year, whether the three nations can get this done. Complicating matters, perhaps, is the environment within which the negotiations are occurring, as well as the ultimate vision for what even constitutes success. July 1st is not just Canada Day to the north, it's also the day our southern neighbors in Mexico will elect their next president and Congress. Politics are fundamentally unpredictable, as all of you know. But one thing that we can say in advance about the outcome of the Mexico elections, whoever is elected will have dramatically reduced political space within which to build a bilateral relationship with the United States, to the extent the next president even wants to do that. Given the rhetoric directed at Mexico that we hear coming from Washington, as well as the steps targeting migrant infants and young children that we see coming from the border, Mexican government officials will increasingly feel a political imperative to defend Mexico's interests. Indeed, we are already seeing that happening. And this may very well translate into a less willing NAFTA negotiation partner when negotiators sit down again in July.